Hi everyone, so I thought I'd start this week's vlog a little bit early, so it's technically not quite the start of the week yet, it's Sunday, but because it's Christmas week I thought we'd be a bit busy, other bits and bobs, so yeah, so I decided to start this a little bit early. So we've actually just sold another item. It's actually one of our vintage tie-dye jackets. So over the summer actually, I bought a few white vintage jackets, denim jackets. So some of the jackets that I bought were Levi's, some of them were just vintage jackets, just like kind of other brands. I think we've got a Bay Trading one and an Etam one, but obviously it's still vintage. So they were all white, and what I did is I tie-dyed them different colours. So we've actually managed to sell one of the Levi's ones on Etsy quite a while back, and it was kind of like a turquoise kind of colour scheme. It was really nice. So we've got a few left that are kind of more pinks and stuff like that. So do think in the future doing it again, I'll probably maybe go for the more sort of turquoisey bluey colours, because I feel like those could be unisex, and I'm pretty sure it was a guy I think that bought it. Whereas obviously the ones that are pink and things, majority of the time, obviously not always, it is that, I suppose it would probably be more females that would buy that. So I'll just quickly show you the jacket that I sold. It's actually a really cool colourway, so just about to pack that up and actually send it off tonight so that it gets picked up first thing tomorrow for them, just in case they are wanting it for Christmas, just on the off chance that they'll actually get it for Christmas. So this is the jacket here. So it's a Bay Trading denim jacket, and as I said, it used to be white, and I don't know if you could really see in this light, maybe if I bring it into this light a bit better, there we go. So I'll obviously show pictures of it as well, but it's kind of like a coral pink and purple colourway, so it's really nice, really cool, really good for, I suppose it'd be more for, I would say maybe spring, summer, really good for festivals and things like that. So really good quality denim jacket. I think it's like a nice size as well, a size 10. And as I said, the colours on it are just absolutely gorgeous, the pattern and things, especially on the back. Like I think the back's got a really cool, like the way that it kind of, yeah, like this part here, I really liked how it turned out. So loved how it turned out. So yeah, just about to get that packaged up just now. Here's a bit better look at the pattern on it. Just, yeah, I love the bright, the way the bright pink is with the bursts of like the purple, and then the sort of orangey colour. It's definitely, the orange is a bit more brighter in person. But yeah, I just love how this actually came out. I was very tempted to keep this one. Here's a good look at the back as well. I love this bit, and then this bit as well with the pink and the orange together. It's just so nice. Hi everyone, so it's a couple of days, no it's not, it's the next day since I last caught up with you. So we're on Monday now. I think yesterday, yeah, said I started off the vlog a little bit earlier, and we've actually made another sale, so that's what I was wanting to share just now. So we've actually managed to sell another one of our vintage handbags, the Nina Ricci one. So we're just about to package that up just now. So it's a Monday before Christmas, so Christmas is on Thursday, so I don't think they're going to get it before Christmas. So I don't know, obviously, if they've bought it for a Christmas present in hopes of getting it, or if they're not too fussy. Even though they have paid for Royal Mail delivery, but I don't think it's you know, like first class or anything like that. So yes, I don't know. So just sort of shows you that even though I was expecting it to kind of quieten down just now, sort of like as it got closer to Christmas, we're still actually getting sales. Obviously not as much as what we got kind of the week before, where we got loads of sales, but we are still getting them, because yeah, so very pleasantly surprised with that. So I'll just quickly show you what it is we sold. So this is the bag. It's like a sort of tote bag, brown, and it's actually got like a giraffe print on it, and then it's like sort of a dusky pink handles, little gold details and things. So it's, as I said, it's a Nina Ricci one, and it's a vintage one. It's got little studs on the bottom and things. So yeah, really nice piece, and I've just kind of sat it on top of the box that we're going to put it up in and package it up in just now. So something that I wanted to mention that I kind of like learned about, which I suppose is actually a little bit obvious, is one of the ways to tell if it's a vintage bag is if it's got one of those, I don't know if you could really see in the camera. Can I just do it a bit closer? Yes, if it's got one of these little skinny phone pockets. So obviously this, you're not going to fit like a modern iPhone in that. So obviously mobile phones were a lot slimmer back in the sort of early 2000s and things like that. So that's how you can kind of tell a lot of the time that you've got a vintage handbag, as in like vintage, as in like around about the 25-year mark, 20 years old, because it has these little slim phone pockets. So I found that really interesting, just learned about that just the other day. But I suppose when you think about it, if you're from, or if you're around back then, it's a bit obvious. That actually fits in our box perfectly. And then obviously, as always, we pop in one of our business cards with all our information and things on it as well. Hi everyone, so it's a few days later since I last caught up with you. So it's now after Christmas, so we're on, I think, Saturday, so the 27th. Had a lovely Christmas, I hope you all did as well. So just wanted to kind of catch up on things I suppose that have been going on at the end of the week. We actually managed to sell another item kind of last minute. After that Nina Ricci bag, we sold, it was a Vintage Champion sweatshirt, so we sold that on eBay, got that sent off. Not actually sure if they received it yet, so obviously again I don't think they would be guaranteed getting it before Christmas, but I don't think they were expecting to anyway. So yeah, so I managed to get that sold. Not made any more sales since then, which I'm not surprised about, because obviously it's been Christmas Day and things like that, and people are busy with other stuff. So also wanted to update you on the fiasco with one of our Chanel wallets. So I think I mentioned previously in another video, and if not, I'll kind of explain it just now. We sold a Chanel wallet now, obviously over a couple of weeks ago, and it was a sale for £100, so it was quite pricey. Now the person that received it seemed to be having quite a lot of bother being able to pick it up. So first of all, they were saying they hadn't received a code, like this, a text with a code in it to be able to pick it up. Then they were saying that the shop that they were meant to pick it up from didn't have a scanner that was working, and there just seemed to be an awful lot of issues, to the point where I started to think, is this person like trying to scam us in some way or whatever? It was so, honestly, it was so strange. And every few days she would kind of say that she was going to try and pick it up, check if the scanner was working, still no luck. And she was saying, oh, this has never happened before. And the buyer, she had really good reviews, so it wasn't like a scam account or anything like that, which just made it even more weirder. So I think eventually she said the Monday before Christmas that she'd been told the scanner should be working, and then we actually got a message on Christmas Eve in the evening basically saying that she still wasn't able to pick it up. And yeah, so anyway, what I did is, I think she'd been in contact with Vinted, and Vinted had said that she should be able to pick it up as long as she's got like proof of the tracking number as well as our proof of ID. But the shop wasn't letting her pick it up still. So, which I suppose in a way is quite good on their end, because they were wanting to make sure it was going to the right person. Anyway, so yeah, so basically, yeah, so I ended up looking into it myself, and I think I had said about obviously me looking into it, but I needed to get like certain information from her. Like I was wanting to sort of figure out what shop it was and things like that, because I started to think, is this even, is there an issue with the scanner and things like that. Anyway, and she was taking quite a while to get back to me as well whenever I asked, anything. So it kind of like lengthened the process a little bit. Anyway, so she eventually got back to me, and then I went into Vinted, and there is actually a help section that's all about if your customer can't pick it up and they don't have a code and things like that. So I basically sent her the list of all the things that Vinted had suggested to try, and I was like, right, have you tried all of these options to try and pick up your parcel? And then weirdly enough, she managed to pick it up. But this was, as I said, I'd then contacted InPost, because it was starting to get to the point where I was like, oh, I don't really know if this is obviously legit or not. I'd also contacted Vinted, and at this point I was just wanting the item back. Like I wasn't, because another strange thing is that it was getting to the point, or it was actually way past the point of the parcel should have been returned to us. So according to InPost, a parcel's only really meant to be in their locker or whatever it is for like 3 days, I think it is, before it gets returned to the sender. However, for some reason, Vinted, when I asked them, they were saying that it can actually sit for 15 days, which I find really strange, that there's two different, even though you're using InPost through Vinted, there's two different, variations of what can actually happen. So that's just something to be aware of if that ever happens to you. So it was getting to the 5th, I think it was actually I think it was day 14 or something. So she only had like 1 day left to go and pick it up. And I'd obviously contacted Vinted and I contacted InPost about it. And then I'd sent her all the different options of what she could try. And then magically it got picked up. So I don't know if like it was just the fact that, because she did sort of mention that she did send a message saying that she'd gotten it and that somebody had helped her like figure out how to get it. But I just found it really strange that she's somebody who's got 600 reviews, and you know, not just from selling but from buying as well. And I was just thinking, surely you know how to pick up a package. Like it's not like you're a brand new customer to Vinted kind of thing. You've never done it before, which you know I totally understand. But so yeah, it was very bizarre, very weird. But yeah, so just hopefully that never happens again. And obviously we've got, you know, the sale went through and everything like that. But I just kind of wanted to say that when I was speaking to Vinted, even though I know that it's a chatbot that I'm speaking to, it was actually very helpful. And I know a lot of people slate Vinted for, if they do have problems, that they're not very helpful. However, I actually found them very helpful, and they were, you know, and this is like being from a seller point of view, but this has also been from a customer as well, when I've had things that have meant to be delivered to me and they went missing, or I've not received them, or it was a scam or whatever. Like I got my money back like pretty quickly and pretty easily. And when I spoke to them about it and I said, look, if this item's gone or it's missing or it, you know, doesn't get back to us, what's the process? And by the sounds of it, they would have refunded us and given us the money, but they also would have obviously refunded the customer as well. So yeah, I have to say that the way they dealt with it was really quick and really, you know, really easy, but very bizarre. That I just found it really strange that as soon as I kind of escalated it and obviously contacted InPost Vinted and then the woman, magically it was just solved. So yeah, I don't know, there's still a little bit of me that's thinking it's maybe the woman's account being hacked or something. And then when they found that we've escalated it, they've kind of just went, it's okay, we've got it. I don't know what the benefit of that would be. I don't even know if that's possible, if somebody could kind of like pretend to receive a package. I have heard of that before, where they'll sort of say they didn't get it but they've actually picked it up, and then they've also asked for a refund, so then they've got the item and they've been refunded. I don't know, I feel like I'm just blabbering on now about it, but very bizarre, very strange, but at least it's resolved, and fingers crossed nothing like that happens again. So this is actually, as I said, the weekend before we're heading away. So I think we mentioned in the last video that we are heading away to Gran Canaria for a month. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the kind of things that we're going to be doing to kind of prepare our stores, obviously, for us being away. So I don't know if you can hear that, it's Chester meowing in the hall. So we have decided to temporarily put our stores on holiday mode, obviously. So I think we plan to do that on Monday. So it's Saturday today. We're going away on Wednesday, so we're going to do that on Monday, just so that if anybody buys anything Monday, we've got the Tuesday to send it, and then that's it kind of thing. So obviously the likes of Vinted, Depop and eBay, I'm pretty sure you could just put your store on holiday mode, but I'm going to have to figure out what to do with our Shopify store. I think you can sort of set it up so there's like a little banner or something that says, you know, if you buy something, it's not going to get posted out until a certain date. So I think I might need to do that. But yeah, so I don't know if we'll end up getting any more sales before we go. Hopefully we will, to try and get a few more bits sent off. But if not, I think yeah, we've done pretty well for December. I think I mentioned before how beginning of December was really quiet, almost like a bit of a calm before the busy period. Got loads of sales from the second half of December, and then even a few trickling in last week, which I was really surprised at because it was so close to Christmas. So yeah, ended up being a really good December. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish off this week's video here. So if you've found it interesting or useful, make sure to subscribe and make sure and turn the notification bell for any future videos. And I did mention in our last video that the next few videos are going to be a little bit of us talking about our first year of reselling and our sort of reflecting on that and talking about our experiences. So I think the next 4 videos are going to be about that. So we're going to be talking about things like pricing, what things to buy, what things not to buy, what worked, what didn't work, all that kind of stuff. So make sure and subscribe so you don't miss any of that, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye!